for another Vault Talk. Sodas are for losers.
They are.
Isaac, what
agreed.
is the inspiration for that title?
There's a couple things that came to inspiration for that. If you want me to be honest, that's from a cartoon called Camp Lazlo.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
the
haven't
Is that
heard
really
of
what
that
that's
one.
from?
Dude, I haven't heard that one. in a
yeah,
long
the
time.
chef used to say that he chased them around with a shovel, saying sodas for losers because they broke into his soda vault or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, that's interesting because I feel like I watched quite a bit of Camp Lazlo. And I don't
Well, it
really
was
remember
on
that.
all the freaking time.
Yeah, it was on pretty often. The funniest thing is I didn't even watch it all the way through. And did you know that the camp counselor was actually an escaped convict from a mental asylum?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So he's not even a legit camp counselor. It's nuts. And they take him away in a paddy wagon like near the end of the
You know, that is so messy. When you look at our old cartoons, you're like, some of this is messed up. Like,
Yeah.
I watched the pilot episode of Courage the Cowardly Dog last night on my breaks. It just popped up, and I'm like, some of the stuff, I'm like, how did they get away with this? You know, the chicken strangling and, like, freaking murders all the chickens in there.
Courage has some creepy monsters, man. I really like that
Yeah.
show. Yeah.
Courage was one of my
Courage.
favorites.
Courage was just a puppet.
Yeah.
If you've seen the last episode.
Oh yeah, where he's like dancing on the strings and everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And the grandparents too,
the owners.
right?
Yeah.
The owners.
Eustace and Muriel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eustace.
Kind of one of those like dark. Because I think Ed, Ed and Eddie had a dark, or not dark, but just like kind of like weird.
Do you
ending.
mean the purgatory thing?
Yeah, where they're all like super old at the end, and it was basically like they were just reminiscing the whole time.
Right. Right. Yeah. No, it's. Oh yeah, that was one of them.
Actually, the creator of that defunct that whole thing. He actually defunct it, saying, no, that's not what it is.
I thought one of them was. I thought one of them was like a pilot episode, wasn't it?
One of them was, but they actually are not in purgatory. The creator just, he defunct that. But you know what's funny? I found out Rolf
For
was
those
supposed
that,
to get his own show.
For those that were curious, that was Mama Vault.
Hilarious.
That was Mama Vault.
Mama Vault.
So, hey, artist Zio.
Zio,
I
what is
definitely
up?
need to rewatch Courage. You definitely need to rewatch
Yes, you
Courage.
do.
You handsome son of a mother.
Yeah. Hey Zio.
I miss you, Zio.
Just
Hey,
out of
Zio.
curiosity,
That's right.
Zio, just out of curiosity, Zio, if you can reply, can you hear me? I don't know if my mic is too far away. So.
I'll tell you what, dude. You are probably kind of low to them. You might want to
Oh.
bring that closer.
A little closer, yeah. Just a
Yeah.
little smidge.
Like here? Right here?
Hey, Mama Vault.
Or right here?
Yeah, we'll try it. Let's see what happens. Speak in your normal voice.
Hello, sorry for the inconvenience.
Yeah, you might want to adjust. There you go.
Oh,
There you
Alright,
go.
Sweet. Okay. Now everybody can hear me. Hopefully
Yeah,
I don't
yeah, you
choke
should
on
be
it.
good. You should be good.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, now I'm perfect.
Yeah, choke on it. Choke on
Yeah.
it a couple times.
All right. Okay, now you can hear me. Whoops.
All right, nice. Yeah. So what were we? Yeah.
Courage.
So Ed, Ed and Eddie had that like kind of like weird like into the Twilight Zone kind of an ending.
Yeah.
If
Do you
I'm
know
not
Rolf
mistaken, they're
was supposed to
twins.
get his own show?
Who?
Rolf. He was supposed to
Oh,
get his own
really?
show. Yeah.
Oh, the guy that was always screaming around saying "Ed boy." That
Yeah,
guy?
he was.
The guy
Yeah,
that
he
had Plank?
actually was legitimately supposed to get his own show after Ed and Eddie ended.
That's awesome.
But was Rolf the
Rolf was a Middle Eastern.
the Middle
guy.
Eastern guy?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
well, I guess European or something like that because the creator's European. He came from Europe,
Rolf
being-
came from Europe.
Europe or something like that because
Really?
no,
Well,
Rolf was
technically-
supposed to relate to people from European descent.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because the creator was of European descent. He
I
said
don't-
he
I
had
don't
difficult
know.
time.
I don't know if that's
getting
true.
used. I read the interview.
He was pretty. He was either Indian or some kind of Middle
You
Eastern.
read the interview. You lose.
Where did you find this interview on?
I don't remember the website. I looked at Ed and Eddie on the internet to see where I can watch it,
Did
and it
you-
said
I
10
do
weird
know
facts.
One of the kids in the cul-de-sac was actually based off one of the creator's friends. There was actually a kid that he used to know in his cul-de-sac that actually used to talk to a piece of wood.
Plank. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, I
he
did
got
read that.
Yeah, oh, wow,
He
wow, that's
inspired
pretty
that from
Plank.
Yeah, that was an inspiration from a kid that the creator knew.
I know the Eds, they're based off of different aspects of his personality, the creator.
That's super deep, man. When you think about like kid shows then and kid shows now, I mean,
Yeah, there's like no
wow.
thought into
It's
them.
like no. They had what Toonami stuff like that for all the.
They
anime
brought back
lovers.
Toonami, didn't they?
Yeah, Yeah, they did.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, it's been back for a while. I think they have like
The only-
shows that are normally on Funimation, but sometimes they air on Toonami.
I know they
Like, one
aired all of
morning.
JoJo's on there.
The JoJo, the fighting anime thing. where
Yeah,
they have,
JoJo's
like,
Bizarre Adventure. Like all seasons, they aired all of them. Of course, up until Stone Ocean, because Stone Ocean's not even Svengoolie on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
My
Yeah,
boy
heck yeah.
Svengoolie.
I used to always catch Svengoolie on weekends, and he would play the Three Stooges.
That guy is awesome.
Oh yeah,
That guy was. I remember.
He's Chicago based.
Is he really?
Svengoolie.
Dude,
Yeah.
that doesn't
You know, I
surprise
found
me.
out this is not the original Svengoolie.
Really?
No, it's like
So the dude
a
with,
second.
Like, the dude with like all the crazy black hair and everything, and the guy that wears hats. That's not the.
There was another Svengoolie before him, but the one now, he was such a huge fan. He
Yeah,
met
here
the
it
real
shows.
Svengoolie,
Dude, that's.
and he was able to do you know what I mean, like play the role very good. They were just messing around.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one was like, you know what? I'm gonna retire. Actually, why don't you take over as the Svengoolie persona? And the guy was like, why wouldn't I?
Dude, that's insane. I didn't know there was more than one. I thought he was the.
This is
I didn't
technically
know.
like the second Svengoolie.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I thought that was the original guy.
Am I still good? Okay.
The only reason, well, I watch Svengoolie because I've been collecting black and white vintage horror films. Actually,
Yeah.
yeah. and-
I actually saw the terrible before Marvel bought all the superheroes and everything to the big screen. I actually used to see the really crappy, campy superhero movies that
Oh,
they used
yeah.
to have. There was one where there's like a Captain America movie. It was supposed to be a TV series, but it was so bad that it was just an hour and 30-minute pilot.
This freaking
And,
mic, dude. Andrew's saying that there's a reverb on this mic right now. I know. There's something up with this mic. I don't know. It does that every now and then.
Your mic or my mic?
Mine.
Oh,
It'll sound like there's like he's saying like reverb,
yeah.
which is weird. Hopefully it'll like correct itself or something.
Yeah, no. That's hopefully, because that would suck, especially to people listening.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had a bunch of wacky stuff. There was one, I remember, I couldn't believe I was reading the title. It was like Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
yeah.
And so I started watching it just out of like morbid curiosity or whatever. And there's like this one scene where like the clowns like capture their prey in like cotton candy.
Yeah.
And so they're all like stuck together. They can't move, and the clowns like eat them whole. I was like, this is some
Yeah,
weird
you see
stuff,
this-
I
man.
you
love
see
how
this
Anxiety
fat
comes on here
clown,
just to correct
like having a
everything
huge
going on
straw,
in the
just
stream.
drinking a bunch of blood off
Yeah.
of one of them, and it's like,
You know what, Anxiety? Why
Who
don't you
thinks
come
of
on the
this?
stream for once?
Yeah,
You're always hiding.
yeah,
Damn it.
he technically was on a stream, the last stream.
Oh,
Wasn't he?
bullshit.
yeah.
Technically, he was.
We love
so-
you, Andy. Don't worry. He
Out of
just
how many?
he just really wants you here.
You know,
That's
I
it.
can't, I can't
It's-
argue with you there.
It's out of love, Andy. Don't worry. He's just angry.
It's tough love.
Yeah. But yeah, no, he had a bunch of
He said-
wild stuff.
You said I was on the last 4 streams, asshole.
Yeah.
But you said Andy said Killer Clowns from Outer Space is my dad's favorite movie.
It is pretty funny in a sense.
Did one of you bring up Killer Clowns?
yeah, that was me.
Yeah,
Oh,
Fernandez
okay.
did.
I wasn't paying
Yeah.
attention.
You
I
were
was trying
paying
to
No,
figure
it's
out all
fine.
this
Exactly.
shit.
Yeah. No, that's fine. I mean, you got to make sure it runs smoothly.
Remember the boxing gloves? He punches that guy's
Yeah,
head off.
yeah.
I don't know if I ever seen that one.
You definitely should watch it.
The only reason, like I said, I saw it is because like I was so like I was so intrigued by the title. I was like, I gotta watch this.
It's kind of
And
like
it was-
Sharknado or Zombie Beavers. I mean,
Yeah.
the title's ridiculous. Where you
What's
are
up,
just
Kyle?
There's a
Curious.
zombie beaver movie.
Yes, there is.
Dude, I gotta check that out.
I suppose there's 2 of them.
What's the one?
Hey, Kyle.
Martians or it's Jack Nicholson.
Mars
uh,
Attacks.
Mars
When
Attacks,
Mars
isn't
Attacks.
it? Yeah, I love that movie.
That movie is awesome.
That
I haven't seen that movie in ages.
And then they play
Yeah.
they play
Yeah.
the freaking the yodeling.
Yeah.
And their heads explode.
I haven't seen that movie in
Yeah,
ages. I
man,
forgot
that
everything that
was great.
happens. Yeah,
Just I think that's on the same like
yeah. No.
subject.
Either
of-
way,
Right,
it's,
yeah, no,
either
it's
way, it's
super-
great.
Yeah.
I think these B horror movies are. They either go either way. They're really, really disturbing, or they're funny as hell. in a
Everybody
sense.
makes fun of movie horror, but it's funny because like that's really what the classic monster movies started out as. Like
Yeah,
if you look at the
B-horror.
Wolfman, if you look at Frankenstein and everything like that, there's not like dazzling special effects. It's just
No.
some guy in makeup choking a woman or like
Well, I think that's
scaring
what made
people.
them so great. The fact that you didn't have special effects, you didn't have this ridiculous CGI now,
Yeah.
or built millions of dollars. You just had simple actors, good acting,
yeah.
and it was a very simple story, and I think that's why they stay with us to this day and why we have icons.
One of my favorite ones that I actually recently got into, I think it was a year or two ago, was An American Werewolf in London. I love
Yes, that
movie.
one was great.
That-
Sachin also says, "Hey,
Hey.
what's up? What's up?
what's up, Sachin?"
that
American
the,
Werewolf for London, dude.
I,
Freaked me
You said
that
for
transformation
London.
scene,
from London.
that transformation scene was epic, man.
that
that's
disturbed
all, that's
me, I'm
all
not gonna lie to
practical
you.
effects.
Dude,
all
that
practical
disturbed me.
effects.
I will
Yeah.
never forget. I was at my Uncle Bob's house when
Yeah.
he used to live in the city, and I just remember sitting there. I was playing with some toy or something. I was like a little kid, and I just look up at the screen, and all I see is the dude's shoulder blades popping out of his back, and I was like freaked
Yeah.
out, but also like, that's cool,
Yeah.
man. You know,
That's by the same
Like,
director that did Animal House.
Is it
Yeah,
really?
he did
Oh,
Animal
wow.
House, and then he did An American Way. His name's Max.
What a switch up.
Animal House was great.
Yeah.
That's still one of my favorite
Total.
comedy
John
movies.
Landis.
Go.
That was the director's
Go.
name, John Landis. Yeah.
John Landis.
Yeah.
It just, I think it shows his flexibility, how he can make something ridiculously hilarious and
Yeah.
insane to something that's like brilliantly disturbing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
To
man,
me,
I
that's
hate
a
to do this
good-
to you, Fernandez,
No, you're good.
but like, I just wrote it. No, you know, not that anybody cares, but it's kind of bothering me. Is that this guy?
No, you're good.
All right,
Just
try that
like
there.
this.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh shit!
Oh.
It's falling.
Oh, did it fall?
Hold up.
You should be good now.
To
Hold on, I
me-
got it
Just adjust it. Yeah.
like
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Can they still hear me?
You're, dude, they can hear you.
They can hear me still.
What I was gonna say is, to me, that's what makes a great director.
Yeah.
It's like how, I mean, yeah, like for example, if you have directors like they specialize in horror, they should stick with that. That's their specialty. But to me, if you can do a little bit of everything, that's a great director.
One movie I've never seen, and both you and Mark were telling me about it, like it's a horror film, was Evil Dead. You were telling me that was like,
Oh,
a really good
Dead.
one.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen that one,
It's-
and
it's
everybody
kind of
talks
a-
The
about
new one's disturbing.
It's a
Is it?
horror / comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all the dead, they kind of have that Exorcist vibe where they kind of talk shit.
Mhm.
Like
Ash vs. Evil Dead.
yeah,
Who's
like
the guy? That's the guy. Doesn't that guy show up in one of the Spider-Man movies? What's his name? The main character for Evil
Yeah, I
Dead.
can't think of his
Ash.
name.
Yeah. I don't know the actor's name.
Well,
but
I don't know
it's
the actor's name.
Yeah.
I think he
but,
was in one of the Spider.
The
Yeah.
boomstick.
Yeah. No, it looks like a really.
Yeah, the boomstick.
It
This
looks.
is my boomstick.
Yeah, it looks like a really cool movie. I really have to check it out because I've seen a lot.
I know they
of
did a
80s
remake
horror
of it,
movies.
and I guess that one
Well,
was
the show.
disturbing.
The show was great.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever seen the show?
Do they
Ash
still
versus
have it on
Evil Dead?
Netflix or?
Should be.
No? Okay.
It should
I'll
be,
have to
yeah.
check it out.
Yeah, and what there was the Evil Dead, then there was like I forget. I think there was like at least three or four movies.
I know there
that
was.
they
I just thought there was two of them, but
made. Yeah, I think there might be three.
I know there's
I'm not
Ash
sure.
vs. Evil Dead.
Yeah, well, Ash vs. Evil Dead is the show.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's
Um,
definitely interesting, man. And then, because I mean, it's weird because that'd be like right up my alley. I mean, I love Nightmare on Elm Street. I saw most of those
Oh,
movies.
they're great.
I saw.
Did you ever see The Witch?
The Witch? Yes.
How is that? Because it's from the same guy who directed The Lighthouse, and I freaking love The Lighthouse.
The Lighthouse is great. I like The Witch, but for like people who are like into super quick jump scares and everything like that, that's not how it is.
That's what I liked
yeah.
about The Lighthouse. It was good storytelling.
Yes. Yeah. It was like right out of like H.P. Lovecraft. It was a really
Because
good
I really
movie.
want to see The Witch, but the thing is, I don't know where to watch it.
Yeah. The Witch.
Am I still echoing?
It was.
This fucking mic, dude.
Yeah. It was. Do you want me to just keep going or?
No,
should
keep-
I just
yeah,
say-
yeah,
Oh
go,
yeah.
go.
Sorry. It actually was on Netflix for a while, and then eventually they like took it off. But I'm sure you can rent it for like $3. It's not.
Because I do want to see The Witch, because, I mean, the guy who directed The Lighthouse, I thought he did brilliant.
He did a great
Especially the
job.
cinematography in there was
Yeah.
ridiculously
Yeah.
amazing.
It's really more of like unsettling, but it has like more of a historical vibe.
To me, it's like a
and-
psychological
yeah,
kind of horror.
that's exactly what it is. So like, for people who love psychological horror, highly recommend it. For people who like really like action-packed horror where there's a jump scare every minute, you're probably not gonna like it.
No, you probably
know,
won't. And I'm not
You
going to
know
lie
what
to you.
movie used to freak me the fuck out?
What movie was that?
You're gonna laugh at me.
Hmm.
The Goonies.
I mean, depending on what age you're in, there's some creepy
Sloth?
stuff. There,
Yeah,
man.
it is.
Terrified me when I was younger.
Yeah, well, even the Criminals, man. Like that one scene where he's gonna put the kid's hand in the blender.
Yeah.
Like, it's supposed to
Oh,
be like
yeah.
a children's movie.
Yeah.
I'm like, who is this
Yeah,
aimed
right.
at? Like, what?
I think our children movies from our era in the 90s got away with a lot they probably should not have got away
so
with.
much,
heck
dude.
yeah,
There's
dude.
so much better writing from like the early '90s, or late '90s, early 2000 TV.
Easily,
and
I
movie.
agree with that.
I mean, they just coddle kids now with like the type of writing for TV. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with that statement. Movies too.
Well, a lot of our
lot
cartoons
better.
are considered offensive now.
Right. Yeah. No. Unfortunately, but yeah, just got to get some new writers or pass it off to some new owners, because no,
Yeah,
really,
for real though.
really.
Stop being so
like-
sensitive.
Like
Yeah.
Star Wars.
Yeah, I agree.
Star-
Let me backtrack. For the movies, yes.
Yes.
If they ever do the movies again, or if they continue, they got to get some directors that actually have a coherent story and not make the final movie feel like a follow-up to the first movie.
Yes.
That was the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah, those.
So was there a
Um,
different director for each movie?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And the most interesting
Why?
part,
Well, it was
the
J.J.
most
Abrams.
interesting part too, is like I was telling Mark yesterday, the final installment, Rise of Skywalker, actually was never supposed to be titled Rise of Skywalker. It was going to be titled Duel of the Fates, and it had a completely different script, and it was going to act as a direct follow-up to The Last Jedi. So that way the trilogy could have made more sense. I think they scrapped the director last minute, did away with all his work and everything.
So what was it supposed to be?
It was supposed to be a lot different. I think it was supposed to be a lot darker, actually. It had to do with like Kylo Ren. There was no redemption story, so Kylo Ren was just going to be this bad guy who was eventually going to try to rule the galaxy. He'd eventually end up dead. He communicates, I think, with a hologram of Palpatine, but Palpatine's not alive in this one. But he does meet Palpatine's master. So supposedly Palpatine's master was supposed to be in there.
Plagueis.
Yeah, and
Oh, that would be so cool.
Luke was actually going to show up in the movie as like a Force ghost, but instead of like giving Kylo like encouragement, he was actually going to taunt his own nephew. So that was supposed to be like super interesting, and there was like a bunch of other stuff that I
So
can't
are
really
they gonna
remember,
do a new
but
trilogy, or that's what I'm hearing rumors
I don't know what
about.
they're gonna do. I mean, where would you go?
Yeah.
I guess
You
the
would
Old
only have to
Republic.
go backwards.
I
yeah.
guess the Old Republic or something like that.
I hope they do right by
because
that though.
Now
man.
technically,
Because I know nothing about the Old Republic and whatnot. I don't even
Tec-
know what the Old Republic
Go ahead.
is.
technically now, the like there's peace now,
Yeah.
right? Like going if they were to go forward.
Supposedly, it's implied that Finn's a Force user, and it's implied that there's other people that are Force users,
Yeah.
but it gives no indication that there's going to be like a new Jedi Order.
Right.
It's just lazy writing.
but,
but
yeah, and like you said, like it's the best way for them to go would be backwards.
yeah.
Because
Old
that's
Republic,
just
100%.
all the content.
Or
So
the
what is the
newest
Old
one,
Republic?
High,
I don't
the
know
High
nothing
Republic,
about
too.
that.
They could do that.
I
The
know-
Old Republic was like thousands of years before the movies, and it was like at the another time where like the Jedi were like struggling against the Sith, so the Sith were like much more prevalent, and they had like multiple conflicts. And then of course like
Were they still the rule of two, or
yes, well the rule of two, not originally, so that's why I love that's why I love Darth Bane. So like
Andrew says that you and him can't be friends if you don't know what the Old Republic is.
I don't
Yeah.
know that much about Star
so
Wars.
before what so I used to love the old expanded universe, and there's a character called Darth Bane, one of my favorite characters.
I remember you telling me about that
Yeah.
when I went over time. You showed me the book's
Fantastic.
evil.
He's more like he's not like maniacally evil like Palpatine. What he wants to do is he wants to rule through strength. He wants to form like a coalition of people and units and stuff, so like he can rule the galaxy and like wipe away the Jedi. But one of the most interesting things is there didn't used to be a rule of two. There used to be like they wanted to have like thousands of Sith. It was called like the new. I could get this wrong. Maybe Andy can correct me, but there was like a Sith academy that Bane had attended, and he was like really frustrated that like these new Sith were like completely stupid and arrogant and stuff like that. So he actually went to like ancient Sith tombs, and he trained with, or he used Sith holocrons to learn ancient secrets from like Darth Revan.
So
and
the
stuff like that.
original Sith.
Yeah, and so like
Wasn't
through,
one of them like Malik or something like that?
yeah, and then Malik too, and then through Bane learning about like what the old Sith used to do, he devised a plan to like wipe out these like
The new Sith.
yeah, the new Sith, and then eventually he forms a rule of two with another character called Zana.
So that
And they
was
go
so that's the original
Original
Sith.
rule of two, yeah. Yep. it
Is
would
that
be.
because of their value on power? Why they only want the rule of two?
Possibly, yeah. There can be like, I think
And
there
when
can't
does
be
that
any
start
more
then?
1,000 years before the films.
So, but I
yeah,
mean, like
it's
before Plagueis or
way before Plagueis. Yeah, Plagueis is
Okay.
like a long time after. Yeah, Bane is definitely way before Plagueis, and then
So how powerful is Bane?
he's pretty strong. I think he devises something. I could get this wrong, and like I said, maybe Andy remembers the story. He's really big on that. He devises something called like a thought bomb, and it's like it's kind of like a bomb that's like it's fueled with force energy. And I guess there was like this huge battle between General Hoth and his Jedi. He was going to fight like the Sith Academy or whatever. And so Bane thought it was like his perfect attempt to strike. So he comes to that battle and he unleashes the thought bomb, and it like wipes out the entire forces. Like all the forces are just detonated by like pure force.
you know,
So
I had that,
does he barely use a
in my
lightsaber
ass.
then? Because he's like so proficient with the Force.
Well, he uses a lightsaber, but I'm trying to remember bits and pieces from the books because I read those books like years ago. But yeah, he definitely uses a lightsaber. But really, what's really interesting about him is like he's like a reverse Master Yoda in that like he is just dedicated to the Sith way of life.
Where
And
Yoda's
he doesn't
the
want to
opposite.
deviate from it. Yeah, whereas Yoda is just completely into the Jedi tenets, and wants to.
So is he
all
on
Jedi to
par
live
with
by
Yoda, or is he more powerful than Yoda?
That I have no idea. I feel like Darth Bane could probably like give Yoda a run for his money.
You know what I always kind of wondered about like that, like both sides is like, because I remember there's that conversation between Anakin and Palpatine where he's talking about like, for instance, Plagueis, right? He kind of dabbled in both sides of the Force. He dealt with the dark and the light side.
Yeah.
Like now, like did Yoda do that too, or
Plagueis?
like, I believe it was Plagueis.
Yeah, no, Plagueis was like straight up evil.
No, but he
He was-
dabbled with the dark and the light.
He knew how to manipulate the Force to resurrect people.
Yeah.
He was by no
I
means
remember
good.
that.
Yeah,
no, I know that. I
He's-
know that.
Yeah.
No, I'm not trying to say that.
Oh yeah, no.
But like what I'm saying is like, were there Jedi that dabbled with dark, like power too, or
Yes.
was that?
Yeah.
Because like I've never, obviously I never really read too much into it, but like,
There was like Jedi who had
So are Grey Jedi's canon?
Grey Jedi. I don't know, because I would say that like
that what that is?
if you even go to like Ahsoka, right?
They fight Jedi and Sith. They're in the middle. They
If you go to Ahsoka, like Ahsoka could definitely be considered a Grey Jedi. I mean, she turned her back on the Order because the Order did nothing for her. They abandoned
yet
her
she
in
still
her time
doesn't
of
like
need.
Sith.
Yeah. Qui-Gon Jinn is another one that didn't really like the Jedi Order all that much. There's actually another expanded universe book that I had read, and this one's canon, where this is before the Phantom Menace, and Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon go to a planet called Pygel. And on this planet, there's a conflict between kind of like a monarchy and then like this corporation called Zerka, and they're like slavers. So
he
Qui-Gon...
knows. Oh, he says Grey Jedi are canon. Qui-Gon, Ahsoka. Qui-Gon was a Grey Jedi.
But yeah, that's what I'm explaining right now. This is the reason Qui-Gon's Grey Jedi in this book is Qui-Gon sees what the Pygel Corporation is doing to the planet. They're enslaving people, they're killing people left and right, and so he tries to call on the Jedi Order to do something, and Yoda and the Jedi do nothing. They say it's not our place, and so Qui-Gon ends up going against the Council's orders and starts to take
Intervene.
action. Whereas Obi-Wan Kenobi is actually following the Jedi Council's instructions. So you've got like this friction. You've got Obi-Wan who's super into following what the Council does, believes that the Jedi does no wrong, and you've got Qui-Gon over here
Who sees
like the corruption within the.
Who's more open-minded?
Right.
Which is why he was like, screw your guys' thoughts on Anakin.
Yeah.
Like he kind of saw
Right,
something.
that
right.
too, and then in
Yeah.
the Phantom Menace, everyone was saying, "Well, Anakin's nothing. Like, just
Yeah.
abandon this boy." And Qui-Gon was saying, "No, like." I
But
see
didn't
something
Yoda
in him."
see a dark path ahead of him?
Yes, yeah, I believe so. Yeah, but yeah,
Well,
no,
yeah, because
there was
the
that too.
biggest thing with him when he was younger was his anger. That's what they were like. They were like, you got to control your anger, man.
Yeah,
Like, Yeah, and I think Qui-Gon even mentions that. To
Yeah.
him.
Dooku actually used to be part of the Jedi Order, and there's actually an audio drama. It's called Dooku. Oh God, what was it called?
Oh, yeah.
Dooku Jedi Lost.
That's Angadi's talking about Windu, and Count Dooku was also considered a great
Yeah,
Jedi.
and what happens is
I thought
Count
Dooku was a
Dooku.
Sith.
Well,
Yeah, but
but
he was a Jedi
originally a
beforehand.
Jedi,
Yeah.
and what
Oh.
has him turn his back on the Order is because the Order becomes too obsessed with public image, and
Like
also
politics
what
and all
happens
that.
Is, yeah,
because
and
Dooku, you can say Dooku actually was kind of in the middle, right? He
Right.
Kind of because he fought against both sides.
what really sends him over the edge is he comes from a place called Sereno, and there were people that he knew and loved whose lives were at risk. So kind of like Qui-Gon, he tries to turn to the Jedi Council to have legions of Jedi back Dooku up, and Yoda refuses and says, "You can't go. I forbid you. I remain. I order you to remain on Temple grounds." Well, Dooku goes along with Sifo Dyas, and I think there is another Jedi teacher that goes along with it, and so it's like 3 Jedi against like scores of people. And after the battle, like Dooku really sees the Jedi differently. Like, you say you're good people and you say that you want what's best for the galaxy, but where were you when I needed you? You know, so there's a lot
So
of
when
interesting
do they
stories.
actually intervene, the Jedi?
It's a good question. I mean, they're definitely not a perfect order, and I'm kind of
So it's just showing that the Jedi are not perfect and the Sith are not perfect.
not at all. I mean, like, even with the newer High Republic novels, you've got like specific Jedi who are like struggling between the light side and the dark side. Some Jedi give in to
The dark side.
yeah,
of
the
course.
dark side when they're
But isn't it
yeah,
just different ideologies at the end of the day?
yeah, pretty much so.
So Andy, he also made a comment earlier. I assume this is talking about Jedi that dabbled in dark magic too. So he says Jedi Master Hoth in both Jedi versus Sith and the end of Path of Destruction. Bane meets a Jedi Force-sensitive young girl named Rain.
Rain, and yeah, Rain is then called Darth Zana. That's right. Yep, that's absolutely right. So originally her name was Rain, and then Bane finds her, and eventually she comes along with Bane because Bane can sense that she's super strong in the Force, and
Okay.
it goes from there.
And then now he just posted, technically in the Phantom Menace, the High Republic is when the Jedi are the higher power.
Yeah, right.
Andy, so
right.
where are you copying and pasting this from, bro?
Well, no,
You on-
but
you on-
and that's the
You
thing.
on
the-
Wikipedia?
The old Republic is more like where the Jedi is in conflict with the Sith constantly, and then sometimes the Sith dominate, other times the Jedi dominate. Where
Yeah.
Andy is right, the High Republic, you've got thousands of Jedi in different systems. You've got multiple temples in different areas. They're really at like the height of their power.
That was actually
So
one
when
thing I
were the
liked about,
Sith at the height of their power?
Huh?
When were the Sith at the height of their power?
Probably at some time during the Old Republic. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Andy would probably know more about that. Yeah, I mean, but I'm sure there was definitely a time in which that was definitely true.
So let me ask you
I
something.
believe it, Andy. He
Yeah.
said
If-
he's not getting it from anywhere. He just pays attention.
Yeah, no, he's
No, he does.
really
Okay, so I'm gonna
into
ask you
the
two,
I know he
stuff
does.
like
I know
me.
he does.
Yeah.
For someone who doesn't know Star Wars, and they ask you what is the main difference between a Jedi and the Sith, how would you put it to them? Simply, like, what is the main difference between it, Sith and Jedi?
I guess the thing that makes the Jedi slightly better is because like they do have more self-control. The problem is that they lack strength and cunning, whereas that's something that the Sith have. The thing is like every single time, there's never been a time, I don't think, especially in like the extended universe, where a Sith hasn't gotten their just desserts. Eventually something happens because they become super corrupted, they get crazy, and they're usually betrayed by either usually their apprentice, or they get killed by, somebody
So let's
else.
say
If I'm not mistaken, I think didn't George Lucas kind of like try to base the Sith on like communism, kind of like,
Probably that, I don't know. Yeah, that I'm not sure.
or like fascism, because he kind of gives off like that Nazi vibe.
Oh, yeah,
The
I mean, like Order
Stormtroopers and all that.
66 and the Stormtrooper, yeah, definitely. And then, of course, like you have the most recent thing where you're throwing the endless war, and a lot of people were drawing Afghanistan comparisons to the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Because it was like an endless war, never ending.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was.
So I guess
that's
I mean
a pretty interesting comparison too.
When like the Sith is more of like that, and then like the Republic is like, well, I guess they kind of, I guess maybe he's treating it more like the U.S. government.
Well,
in a
no,
way.
I mean the Republic are kind of like. So I guess the way like Lucas based it off of it was like a mix of like European and Asian mythology. So you've got like the European monks with the robe look and things like that. I think May the Force Be With You was inspired off of like Peace Be With You, which is like the Catholic, right? That's like the Catholic creed
Yeah.
or whatever. And then with the swordsmanship and everything, that's more like the samurai. Because
and all.
Lucas loves samurai movies. So
Isn't
he
that
was
what a
really
Jedi
big-
pretty much is? It's like a space samurai in a
Pretty
sense.
much.
They have their own
Yeah.
code and everything.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, getting back, the Sith,
Clone
you
Force
say...
99. Dylan Scott is saying, Clone Force 99. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, that's the Bad Batch. I think.
That is okay.
Yeah, it's Clone Force
Sweet,
99.
that's awesome. I did not know that reference.
Yeah.
Now you know.
That's a great
Dylan
show.
Scott, how are you, man?
Yeah.
How's it going,
Right
Dylan?
on. And then my Uncle Joe, what's up? He says, "What up, boys?"
Hey, how's it going?
How's it going?
Let's
Good
let's
to
not
see you.
okay. If you go back and watch the sequel, General, what is that? HUX.
Hux.
General Hux
Hux.
holds that order with the stormtroopers, and they do the Hitler talking to Nazis type of.
He's
reskin
so he's
of
trying to
this-
he's trying to
this-
say like
Yeah.
they're kind of like eerily reminiscent to like Nazis.
Yeah. So
in a
yeah,
sense.
To the
that makes
Nazi
sense.
regime?
That's what
Yeah.
they're-
Yeah.
Cool.
So, getting back to that, the Sith value power, like, what do the Jedi value?
I mean, like,
Like
it's
order in a
interesting
sense?
because, like, the Jedi, it's like a way of life too, but it's to me, it's like so much more difficult of like a lifestyle because you've got to balance like all these emotions, and like the slightest bit of failure supposedly leads you down the wrong path.
Yeah,
But
the Jedi believe in just straight up order.
yeah,
Straight up, like,
exactly.
equal.
Or the
yeah.
Sith value power?
Right, and I would say,
Yeah.
like Mark was saying earlier, Jedi are more like democratic. They value democracy more,
Yeah.
whereas the Sith are more
Yeah.
like the strongest people rule, and everybody else is just beneath them. So they're kind of more like elitist, the Sith.
Except their
But-
order kind of like the all the decisions are made by the council.
For the Jedi,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Right.
so like they have like
And
a high council.
So
Right,
where do
right.
Mandalorians fall in all this? Because I guess the war between Mandalorians and Jedi. I mean,
That
where
was
do
the Old
they?
Republic. That was like thousands of years ago, I think. So
So the Mandalorians did go to war with the Jedi.
yeah, and the only reason I know about that is because they had like these games called, they're aptly named Star Wars: The Old Republic, and they go over a lot of that. They go into context about like Republic forces, as well as
So where did the
Jedi.
Mandalorians fall?
Mandalorians were just trying to. I don't know if they were trying to keep their way of life or if they were actually just trying to take over specific planets. I'm not sure on
But
that.
they did have a war with the
Yeah,
Jedi.
Yes, there was definitely a war between the two.
That's still very unknown, right? Like,
You-
as
you
far
mean
as
like-
like their like their origin.
Yeah, I'm not sure because I mean like.
Because I know there's Mandalore.
They don't
Right.
really explain it in the Mandalorian yet. Like,
Well, the
'cause they-
thing is because of the Old Republic. I don't know if it's technically canon. I
Ah.
don't think it's canonical with like the Mandalorian at all.
I got you.
So like if Disney were to ever do something like Jedi versus Mandos, they may do something completely different.
So
I-
when they
if
said
Disney even does the Old Republic at all.
So when they said
Don't they-
Mandalore the Great, does that mean is that a person or like the planet Mandalore the Great?
Mandalore the Great.
'Cause
Was that in
Yeah, the Mandalorian
Mandalorian?
at the last episode, the Forger mentions there was a great war between Mandalore the Great and a group of sorcerers called Jedi. Who
that?
what-
Yeah, that could possibly be a reference. And
is that
and
a person or is that a like planet Mandalore
I-
the Great?
I think Mandalore is just a planet. I don't know why she ended it with great, but yeah, no, I mean that's a direct reference to like that conflict. So
So she's mentioning the Old Republic in a sense.
Right, yeah, and that's what's cool is like a lot of even though a lot of stuff is like non-canonical, sometimes they'll bring it into like what is canonical,
So there'll
like,
be a reference. So it is
Right,
possible
yeah,
Disney
so-
may go the Old Republic route.
I hope so, but I'm scared that they'll like they won't do justice to Darth Bane or so. I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
no, that's just funny.
I don't know.
It's true. Like, fuck, man. Like,
I mean, did I-
Those last three were so disappointing, but like all these shows are.
I'm
doing
glad
so
you
damn
said that
well.
because I was gonna say I was not really impressed with the last, with the latest trilogy. I think the last one
No.
it ended okay.
But
I'll put it that way.
Here's what I will say though. The acting for the newest trilogy was fantastic. Like
I will give them that. The acting was great.
Anytime Kylo Ren or Ben Solo, whatever you want to say, was on screen with Rey, the chemistry between the two was just great.
I love the symbolism with Kylo, with
yeah.
his lightsaber,
Right.
because it like mimicked him, he's unstable.
Right.
Constantly, I think Kylo, I mean, at first, I'm not going to lie, I didn't like Kylo. I thought he was a disappointment because I just thought he was a pissed off teenager.
Yeah.
But the more
Yeah.
it progressed, and I remember Ogre mentioning that, I asked how is Kylo because I thought he looked like a badass in the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Ogre just said, he's a pissed off teenager.
But again, like, I think what really hurt the newest trilogy is really not the acting, not the music, not the special
story writing?
The writing was just garbage.
So which one of the trilogy did the best story writing? And I know,
Okay.
yes, no, I know we can argue that none of them were good, but I guess
Okay.
like out of the three, so I
Here's
guess
the
best
thing.
out of the worst.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You guys are gonna dunk on me because I had said that I originally hated this film, The Last Jedi.
Okay, fair enough. Now,
the
what
Last
did you
Jedi
like
for
about
me,
that?
The Last Jedi for me is the best one out of the other two, and the reason I say that,
No, I agree with you though.
no, the reason I say that is because I was completely looking at it through like blinders, right? I wanted like Luke Skywalker.
So you watched it again and gave it another
Oh
chance.
yeah, I mean I watched it again and it's just excellent. I mean,
I thought the fight scene with Kylo and Rey fighting those guards, I thought that was fantastic.
that was great.
No,
That
yeah.
was great.
It was 100% the greatest because, well, for one, just all the special effects and just the fight. I thought the ending fight, the
With Luke?
even though it
Luke
was a
trolled
disappointing
him?
story, the way that they kind of resolved everything and kind of
Yeah.
fixed everything, it was
Yeah.
it was good in that sense.
It
And the
reminded
fact
me of
that
The
Luke
Empire
was-
Strikes Back, and The Empire
Yeah.
Strikes Back is one of my favorite Star Wars movies of all time,
Yeah,
if
that's a
not
great movie.
my favorite.
And I really love the fact that like Luke is in exile. And one of the reasons I love the fact that Luke is in exile is because he's not a perfect Jedi at all. He never became a Jedi Master. He never listened to Yoda's advice and Obi-Wan's advice when his friends were in danger. Had he listened to them, he probably would have been a perfect representation
Of the
Jedi. And instead he decided to go and save his friends against the wishes of his teachers. When he's fighting Vader, he nearly kills Vader, and just for a split second, he then decides, I'm not going to kill my dad. But in a sense, like, he's completely filled with rage. When the
You see the
says,
symbolism
but
when
also,
he's like
yeah,
dark half
but
of him.
one last thing, when the Emperor says, strike me down, boy, instead of denying the Emperor's request, he instantly goes for his lightsaber and tries to cut down Palpatine, whereas Vader stops him. So
This is true.
none of this is anything that a Jedi would ever do.
This is
So
true. I never
Palpatine
noticed
was
that.
trying to get to
right,
him.
and so then when we see Luke, he's beaten down, he's disgruntled with the
He's
Order, how
split.
stupid, how he feels that they were stupid, that they were weak, that they allowed Palpatine to rise to power, and he feels like a failure. And it takes Rey, it takes the essence of hope, like him to rekindle that hope, to step back into his role as a Jedi, I guess if you want to say, because he's not really there. But yeah, really, it's not even just Luke. The fact that it just really goes into, like, it really delves into the relationship between Rey and Kylo as well is something that I really like too.
So like a relationship between like a Jedi and a Sith,
Yeah.
in a sense.
Yeah. Well, and on top of it, I mean, it really shows that, like, Kylo, it really develops Kylo's character really well, especially because he's not just your normal bad guy. He's empathetic when he needs to be, and he really doesn't want
So
to
I see what
hurt
you're
people
saying.
he
It's
doesn't
like
have to.
Rey's not a typical Jedi. Kylo is not a typical Sith.
Yeah, and I
so
love-
would you say they're like evolutions, kind
Yeah.
of like a Jedi and a Sith?
And the fact that they weren't following the normal trope of, oh, Rey has to be the granddaughter of this person, or Rey has to be related to this person. She's no one.
And Kylo is a Skywalker.
She's able to develop who she wants to be, and she could have turned out to be something far, far different. Her own Jedi. But
Yeah,
instead,
yeah.
yeah, they had to stick to that stupid trope of everybody's related,
Yeah.
and and just thinking about the fact that Palpatine screwed somebody is hilarious. But that to me is nuts.
I was
But yeah,
thinking that.
to me, The Last Jedi is my favorite one because it turns everything on its head, and with a second viewing, I really enjoyed it. So
I remember you
Yeah.
saying how disappointed you were with the ending.
Oh, yeah.
When you were like, okay, if they make Luke just smile, I will forgive them of their sins. And then when you say he disappears, you're like, what?
yeah, well, because I thought Luke was gonna like pull a gotcha and like he was gonna like still be alive, but like
I would have
after
liked that if he opened his eyes and just would have smiled.
Yeah.
You know what
and, like,
else too? Like the last three movies really kind of, like, it botched the idea that the Skywalkers are the chosen ones. Like,
yeah,
because
but here's the thing: like, if you were to do a sequel,
it's not
it would
it's
have
not a
done
bad
that
thing,
anyway. Right?
Yeah, I'm not saying that anything bad about it.
Yeah.
It's just, like I'm just thinking about that right now.
Yeah.
Because it's not even a Skywalker that really saves the world or whatever. It's Rey,
yeah,
and
yeah,
like
and
that's just interesting.
she's technically a Skywalker in name, but not
Yeah.
a Skywalker by blood. So I
Right,
guess we
right.
just got to go with that.
You just gotta go with that.
Yeah. But no, the thing is like even if you were to have like a coherent like trilogy, like let's say all of this like terrible writing didn't happen, like any sequel would have like
Dude,
invalidated
I
Luke's
guess I heard like
sacrifice,
that was a joke or something. They were
Anakin's
gonna
sacrifice.
scrap the new ones and start over. I heard.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
don't
way.
see
There's
that.
too much like invested in that. But yeah,
In order to do it
So,
right,
in your guys' opinion, do you think the new trilogy should have happened, or that maybe it shouldn't have happened, or maybe should have took a couple more years?
I think
to
it
develop?
should. Yeah,
it
go
should have
ahead.
happened,
Yeah,
but
go
like
ahead.
they shouldn't have done it the way that they did.
Yeah.
You never just listen to what everybody has to say and then like try to appease everybody. You fucking make a good story.
Yeah.
And
First
I do believe,
foremost,
and I
like,
guess
before
one of you
anything.
guys,
And they didn't do that.
Star Wars can have a toxic fan base. I mean, do you guys feel
It
that?
always
or-
has been.
Oh yeah, they have one
It's
of the
been
most
that way
toxic
since-
fan bases.
So
been
I
that way
see
since
they're
episode one.
in a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
It's like, we want to have a good story, but yet we're gonna,
Yeah.
piss off the wrong fans
Yeah,
or
I mean,
something like that.
As good, like even if you take a look at The Mandalorian, as good as that show is, you're gonna have people like the old trilogy fanboys that are gonna say nothing is good. The only thing that's good is the original trilogy, and everything else be damned.
Those people will say the
yeah.
original
Yeah,
trilogy
but
should have just stayed. There never should have been.
Has it
any.
really been
Yeah.
that? Has it really been that bad though for the shows?
Not at all. No, the
Yeah.
shows,
No,
the
the
shows,
Mandal-
the
I've been
shows
very
have
su-
revived it.
I've been
yeah.
very surprised about that.
You know,
shows,
I
the
actually
the
enjoyed The
shows, the books, the
Mandalorian
comics,
than the
yeah.
movies. I will
Yeah.
dare to say that. I have enjoyed The Mandalorian and have looked forward to seeing the new season than I have the new movies, actually.
Yeah. I really Rise of Skywalker, if anything, is probably the one that I just can't sit through anymore, just because it's like there's tons of plot points all coming at you at once. None of it really makes sense.
You see now, and
So-
Gotti's bringing up something here about the how the last three movies were really supposed to be Leia's story, but with Carrie Fisher's death, they kind of had to change some things around. But like the 7, 8, and 9 was really kind of like it was going to be her story,
Yeah,
all in all.
that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
That would have been very interesting. And honestly, I wouldn't have minded Luke dying. I mean, and like handing the reins to Leia, but I mean, it was just so.
So, was a
All over the
plot
place.
supposed to be the Knights of Ren were like Luke's fallen students? Was that supposed to be a plot or something like that?
I have no idea what they
Because
were
I
gonna do
guess
with
that
the
was like
Knights of
part
Ren.
of a script that was scrapped. It was
Yeah.
that the Knights of Ren were like Luke's fallen students, and he was supposed to fight them.
That was probably a theory. I have no idea what they wanted to do with.
I
the
think that was
Knights of
actually
Ren.
like a script that was scrapped, actually.
Yeah.
But that was supposed to come to fruition.
Yeah, the most frustrating thing with those, because you're talking about the guys that like surround Kylo, right? They're like all
The Knights
like,
of Ren,
right.
yeah. And I guess those were supposed to be his fallen students.
It's hilarious because they hired some of Hong Kong's top fight choreographers to do the fight choreography for the Knights of Ren or whatever. So like what they do is they like dress up in the armor and then they do like the fight scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was reading this,
And Gotti, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
And Gotti was saying, explain what I just put in there that makes me, or read that comment. Well, he can't even speak English right, but here, I'm going to read out what he just said. So technically, each trilogy has its own Skywalker hero. 1 through 3 were for Anakin, 4 to 6 were Luke's story, and 7 and 9 was supposed to be Leia's story, but her dying in real life fucked up the 8th and 9th film. Yeah, so that's exactly what I said.
Mhm.
That's supposed to be Leia's story.
yeah, I mean that, yeah.
So what the fuck? I don't understand what you're complaining about, Andy.
Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry for interrupting.
No,
you.
you're good. No.
Please, this is the last time we're gonna read a comment that he commented. So, all right.
But yeah, no, it's. I can't remember what I was talking about, but yeah, no, it's
The fight choreographers off of
yeah,
Knights of
so
Ren.
they had hired like Hong Kong's top fight choreographers to do fight scenes with the as the Knights of Ren characters. It's like when I had heard about that back then, I was like, oh, these guys are gonna be like huge, and this was before like the Last Jedi dropped. And I thought, oh yeah, these guys are gonna be like super cool, and they don't show up in. I don't think they show up at all in the Last Jedi.
They show up in
and
The
then-
Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, and then the Rise of Skywalker, they show up to just be one-shotted by Rey. They
Oh
all
my God,
die. Yeah. So
The
it's
heck?
like, damn, you spend all that money on
For nothing.
Yeah, you spend all that money for nothing. You know.
Literally a waste of time
And that
money.
would have been a really interesting plot point, like that had been like fallen students of like
Luke's fallen
Luke,
students,
Yeah.
and then him having to fight them. I thought that would have been amazing.
That would have been pretty cool. Yeah.
Dude, what if Baby Yoda? Or what? I'm sorry.
What if Dogu?
What if Grogu was a knight?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't
but,
think
like,
so. I don't think he would have been. You could have probably been able to tell the height difference between Grogu
No, 100%.
and the other.
100%. But like,
Yeah.
just what if? Maybe he died.
There are rumors, people saying that Kylo may run into Grogu. Kylo might actually kill Grogu later on down the line.
So is there going to be
I hope
another
not.
season of The Mandalorian?
Oh, most definitely.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
mean
already
that's
confirmed,
Disney
right?
Plus's
Yeah, that's already confirmed.
Their biggest
his
seller.
biggest one, and then they're coming out with this new thing, Star Wars Visions,
I do want to see that.
which that's really
So
cool.
where does that take place, Visions?
That one's like I don't think it's really like canonical, so it doesn't really like follow any of the movies, but it's like a take on the Jedi and like different stories within the Star Wars universe.
So
but
it's like Jedi versus Sith again.
right, but it's like a Japanese take on it. So I don't know how much Japanese influence is going to be in the show. I would assume a lot, considering the Jedi are supposed to be like based off the samurai. George Lucas really liked samurai movies, The Hidden Fortress, Seven Samurai, things like that. He loved those movies. So maybe there's going to be some type of samurai-esque stuff in there.
That would be
And,
cool, especially where he got his influence. The
Right.
Jedi are like space samurais.
Well,
pretty
so what
much.
it is it's different like anime companies, like big name anime companies, each doing their own separate story. So you're gonna have one that's like a bounty hunter. I think Boba Fett's even in it. I think I saw Boba Fett in one of the stories. I could be wrong.
Oh, what's the one that's going to be coming out of him? The Book of Fett or something like that? Or what is that called?
No, I'm talking about Visions, but yeah, it's like the Book of Boba Fett. That's like
Yeah, yeah.
So
another-
Boba
Well, I
Fett
know
technically
yeah.
is
not a
I'm just
Mandalorian.
an idiot.
No, you're fine.
But
Yeah,
anyways,
you're good.
and Gotti is let's just read this one because I think this is kind of a funny one. He says, "I wish Chewie died in the explosion in Rise of Skywalker. Same with 3PO. I wish he would have as well because it just hit the fans hard as hell and shed some tears.
Right.
And then it was like, I got you.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they weren't really afraid. They weren't willing to go big with like
Yeah. Well, they killed Han. So
Yeah.
why not kill
Yeah, but
Chewie?
didn't he want? Didn't
Because
didn't he
Chewie
want to
and
be
Han
done
were
with
like
it
a
though?
team, bro.
But
You know,
didn't
that-
Harrison Ford want to be done with Star
that-
Wars
that's
though?
yeah.
Harrison
that was
Ford
obviously-
really didn't like.
That was
he
100%
really didn't like
a given
Han
that
Solo,
they were
so
gonna kill him off.
which I find hilarious because he loves Indiana Jones, but he hates Han Solo, and it's
Yeah.
pretty much just like really similar.
Well, Indiana
Yeah.
Jones is his baby.
You know, it almost
Yeah,
seems
yeah.
like, it's funny. It almost seems like yesterday. The first movie, The Force Awakens. It almost seems like yesterday we were talking about The Force Awakens and like watching the interview with Harrison Ford, and he just did not seem big into it.
No,
Like he wanted to be out of Star Wars.
even like if you actually pay attention in Rise of Skywalker, when he has this little cameo scene, he looks so bored, and the funniest thing, they actually wanted him to cut his hair so like he could have like his little perm or whatever the hell he has. His hair is like long as hell, so he's pretty much just telling everybody to just let me shoot my scene so I can get the hell out of here and just
yeah,
like
he says
collect
Kylo
my-
Ren is dead.
Yeah, and it's like, but it's like in that scene, it's hilarious because you can tell like Harrison Ford does
He's
not want
so
to be
done.
there. Yeah, so
Even
That's
like
funny.
Was that because he never liked the Han Solo
No,
character?
he didn't like the character. He actually wanted George Lucas to kill him off in
Yeah,
episode
episode
6. Yeah, it's either 5 or 6.
Thank God he says 5.
Is it 5?
Yeah.
Then because he wanted to have like a
Well,
heroic
he did
death.
because he was such a lovable character. Is that why?
No, George Lucas just told him no. He wanted to keep
Well,
Han
yeah,
for
he had
another.
a different story for
George
it.
Lucas was like, no, you can't do it. I have to include a talking frog in my next trilogy. You won't be in there. Yeah. Luckily, he's gonna be
Wasn't
the
the
greatest
wasn't
character
the
ever.
Solo movie
is,
like
though.
not that
Shut
great?
Up, Mark.
What?
Anyways, what?
Oh, Jar Jar you're talking
I'm
about.
So
talking
how
about
was
Jar
the
Jar.
Solo
Yeah,
movie? Was
screw
that,
Jar
how
Jar.
would you guys rate the
I was
Solo
thinking of
movie?
Yoda.
Death to all Gungans. What? What are you saying?
Death to all Gungans.
Death to all Gungans.
How would you guys rate the Solo movie?
I liked it.
Yeah, I like Solo.
I thought it
too.
was good.
Because I haven't seen it still.
It wasn't like mind blowing, but I wasn't expecting it to be. I love the ending credits though, where
It
Darth
makes me
Maul
laugh
shows up.
though, like
So it's like a young Han Solo.
Yes.
it makes me laugh all the comments that are talking about how much they hated the film, and it's like, what were you really expecting?
Yeah.
Like there isn't a whole lot of backstory to Han.
Well,
So like what were you really thinking was going to happen,
Yeah.
and what was so disappointing about it?
I think a lot of it. This could be the main complaint. I could be wrong about this, but a lot of people really did not like the guy who played Han Solo.
Okay.
They felt like he really had like no. There was really like no connection.
I
you
gotcha.
know? So. Didn't really feel like
The
he was
only-
trying to act like Han Solo. I disagree. I thought he did a good job.
Yeah,
but
me too. The only cast member that I didn't.
Yeah.
I said Grover. I can't even say his name right. I'm over it. Hey, no trash to the guy. I mean, he's like a funny comedian and stuff, but like,
He did a good job in Predator too.
Did he?
Yeah.
I think he did a good job in Predator
I
too.
didn't think he played a good Lando.
No.
No, I wasn't a fan.
See, I didn't really pay attention that much because
Yeah.
like Lando felt like a side character.
I like how they
Yeah,
brought
he
him.
really-
I like
he
how
was
they
really
brought him
very
back in the.
involved, Yeah.
he
I like how they
was
brought him
very
back in the last film, Lando.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
I did think
Billy
that was
Dee
cool.
Williams, Yeah. So. But yeah, no, it's a really
Yeah.
good time to be a Star Wars fan. man. There's a lot
Speaking of Solo, me and Andy actually saw it 2 times.
really.
Yeah, we went 2 different times to go see it.
Dude, that's dedication.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's not a bad movie.
The first time I think
I think Rogue One's better though, but you know, it's just.
Rogue One was good, especially the
Yeah.
ending with Darth Vader.
So it says Solo is not for losers. Or he's not saying Solo. He's saying soda is not for losers.
Soda's not for losers.
I can't read today. Holy shit. Yeah, soda is not for losers. You're right. I mean, I'm a soda drinker. I'm an avid.
I'm trying to
soda
cut back.
drinker.
I'm trying to cut back from soda.
But unfortunately, Isaac wanted me to put that as the caption or as the title. So if you got any beef with the title, talk to my boy Isaac.
Yes.
But anyways, let's see what else we got here. You see, Andy says that he thought that Danny Glover nailed Lando.
I thought he did a good job as Lando too. I just felt like he was a side character. They didn't really
Yeah.
show him a lot. Whereas, like, I know it's not his movie, but Lando's pretty important. So, you know, you would think.
Sachin
Yeah, make
is
it really
saying that
cool.
Rogue One was pretty good.
Amen, Sachin. Rogue One was awesome.
I love the ending of Rogue One
yes
with Darth Vader. I love
That
that.
was so good.
And how
Yeah.
they were all like terrified and like trying to get out of there.
Yeah.
As soon as you hear the breathing and then you see the lightsaber.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really cool. The only thing about that scene, and I'm not gonna lie, I chuckled a little bit, is when they had the hologram Leia,
Yes.
because it was so obviously a hologram.
I thought it was cool.
No, it was
I
cool.
thought- yeah.
Don't get me wrong, like it was cool, but it was just funny. Like it was like it's not CGI, but the effect of it.
The one that I burst out laughing to. So there's a guy. Oh, I can't remember his name, but there's a guy in there. I don't know the actor's name, but they had Grand Moff Tarkin in in Rogue One.
Mhm.
That's the British guy from Episode 4
Mhm.
Yeah.
that comes in. Yeah, that actor is dead as hell. He's
Yeah.
been dead for a while.
They-
They
yeah,
CG'd his
they
face
C-
to high hell, and it looked terrible.
It did.
Oh my god!
But you
I
know
almost
what's
burst
funny,
out
though?
laughing with
You know
that.
what's funny
yeah.
though, is I didn't realize it,
yeah.
and then I think you're the one that told me that
Yes.
was a hologram,
Yeah.
and then I was like, wait. So I went back later on, like when it came out, and I watched it, and I was like,
Yeah.
holy
Well,
shit.
yeah. What they did was they did like CGI, and so they had an actor come and they put like a bunch of nodes over his face,
Oh my
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they sculpted his face to look like the actor
Mhm.
from Episode 4, and the actor would then lend his talents of his voice to try and recreate Tarkin's
Oh,
to
okay.
recreate the actor's voice.
Okay,
So
that's what I was
they,
just gonna ask.
so they use motion capture and CGI and another actor to try and
reshape the voice.
reshape the voice and the look and everything, and it was so. But I thought that was worse than the Princess Leia hologram. I thought the Princess Leia thing was pretty interesting at the end.
Yo,
But,
Donnie Yen though in Rogue One,
Yes.
Oh yeah.
and now I'm hearing that he actually would consider coming back as a Jedi.
He was courtesy to Andy, who has
Yeah.
been commenting.
Yes,
he
Andy,
was the one that sent us that awesome news.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, he's wanting to come back to Star Wars if they.
Donnie
ask
Yen
him.
would do amazing, like as
Yeah.
a Jedi.
I love how I love how like looking at his character in Rogue One. I love how they're saying, "Oh, he's not a Jedi." I'm like, "Okay, dude."
Sure, he's not.
Oh, okay. Whatever you say. So, but yeah, really, really good to have him in the movie. So, but yeah, no, it's a good time to be a Star Wars fan. So.
Great time.
I will
What's,
say yes.
What's next on the list of Disney Plus shows? I know there's like the Droid story.
I don't know when it's coming to fruition, but I've been talking about it for a while. The Marvel show Moon Knight. I'm so excited for that.
Yes.
I am
I'm
very
excited for
excited
that
for
too.
Moon Knight.
Yeah.
And it's funny. Originally, Moon Knight he was like a side character to like a werewolf character.
Was he really?
Yeah, he like hunted werewolves and like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Moon Knight. But I
Yeah.
guess he got so popular, they're like, let's give him his own thing.
Yeah. So like I could be misrepresenting this character because I'm not really an avid Moon Knight reader, but like for those who don't know, for people who are watching, Moon Knight was, I think he's supposed to be like a specter, or he's like he has some type of not like literally dead, but he has some type of power
Like
with the other.
from an Egyptian god or
Right.
deity. But actually,
He actually is a martial artist too, and has like tools that he uses to like take people down.
what's
so.
funny is that Moon Knight was Marvel's answer to DC's Batman.
It really looks like that, doesn't
Well,
it?
it was. Not saying. I mean, I'm biased.
the
I'm a
Black
Batman
Panther?
fan.
I honestly thought Daredevil
'Cause that's
was
pretty
because
similar,
Daredevil to me looks really similar to Batman, but if
He
it's
has the
Moon
dark
Knight,
aesthetic, but actually, no. Moon Knight was Marvel's answer to DC's Batman.
I did not know that.
Originally, that's what they wanted. But you know what? To me, they're the same in a sense. But to me, Moon Knight is so complex as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying Bruce Wayne's not. He's complex, but I mean, you pretty much can describe Bruce Wayne. But I feel terrible. I forgot Moon Knight's real name. But the
Mark
dude had
Spector.
Mark Spector.
Mark
That's it. He
Spector,
has
yeah.
multiple personality disorder.
Does he really?
He does.
Wow. I gotta.
In the comics, he seriously
Andrew,
does. He lives 3 different lives and he can't distinguish them. It's
Andrew
a mental
says
health disorder he
That
has.
is really cool.
that Moon Knight will be in late 2022, probably 2023. They just announced the schedule today.
You know what? Hey, if you want to, if they delay to get it right, I am all for
I am
delays.
too.
If you're
Take-
gonna get it right,
Take as much time as you need. And also, I remember I was talking with people, a couple of other people who did not like the Loki TV show. I actually really enjoyed
I
it.
have not seen Loki.
It's really decent. Like the whole multiverse stuff that you're seeing, like how you're seeing, the whole multiverse stuff kind of started with like the whole Loki TV show with the Timekeepers, multiple universes, things like that. That's why when you see the newest trailer for Spider-Man, you see like old villains from
Yeah.
the original Spider-Man trilogy
Yeah.
meeting the new Spider-Man. So I wonder how much
So
time.
is Tom Holland Spider-Man, or after this film is he like done? Like I'm sort of confused about that.
That I don't know, but like what I was getting at was the oh man, I lost my train of thought. What I was getting at, yeah, I remember what I was gonna say. A lot of people were arguing that Loki is only 6 episodes, and to me, it's like I don't care how many episodes there are. If it's,
As long as it's good.
yeah, as long as
Well,
it's
look
good,
at
go for
Castlevania
it.
season
Yeah.
1. That was only 4 episodes, but it was done so good.
Yeah, it was. That was a really good show.
Now, I'm going off topic of Castlevania. I don't know if Netflix is done with it or if they're gonna do like another Belmont. I don't know what their plan is.
They said they're gonna do different characters. So
There will be another Belmont.
Yeah, yeah. So they're gonna focus on like other characters and then different places. I
So
think
it
they may
is
have,
going to happen, another Castlevania.
Sachin over here. I was literally just thinking that Sachin. He said that Castlevania music though. That Simon's theme.
Yes,
Yep.
that was so.
Who was in the
cool.
studio?
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah.
So possibly, are we going to see Simon? Possibly.
What I think is going to happen is they're going to do a prequel, and what they're going to do is they're going to explore the downfall of the Belmont family at
That
the
would be
hands of
good.
Dracula. That's what I'm thinking they're most likely going to do.
That'd be cool.
Because if I'm
So
not
who was
mistaken,
who was before Trevor?
that I don't know. I don't know the different Belmonts because I'm not.
Well, I
that
do know
huge
that there
of
was a Leon.
was
there was a
Corey.
Leon,
Corey Bell.
but then we
Oh
kind
my
of skip generations and we get to
Trailer
Trevor.
Park Boys?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. go
Because
ahead.
they mentioned Leon, but then we skip a couple generations, then we get to Trevor.
Yeah, because Trevor, if I'm not mistaken, is the last one.
Currently, he's the
yes.
last one.
So, because
Then
they have well, I don't know if anyone's gonna say it, so I'm not gonna do spoilers. But yeah, no, it's.
But
really good.
didn't it go in like order? And again, this is not like one after the other, like generation skips. It was Leon, Trevor, Simon. There was like another one. I forgot who. Then there was Richter, and then Julian.
Your guess is as good as mine because the interesting stuff is I don't even know how the hell they adapted the story because when you play a Castlevania game, it's really not story heavy. So
No,
I don't
it's
know.
not.
I don't know like how they.
I do
really,
like Rondo Blood and Symphony of the Night.
I died so many times in those games. Mark knows. Mark watched me play.
I remember playing Rondo Blood at your house. I'm like, this is hard as hell.
It's harder than Dark Souls, no question.
Dark
Oh
Souls.
my
I've
God.
attempted that once, never again.
Yeah, Dark Souls is rough, but I
That
mean,
gave me some gray hairs
Dark Souls.
besides
I never
God
thought
of
I'd
War.
say this. Dark Souls is easier than Castlevania. Castlevania was designed by a bunch of sadists in the back rooms of Konami. So yeah.
Oh my goodness! I mean, that could be a whole other episode. Really difficult video games that just make you want to bang your head against the wall.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, I could talk hours about Sekiro if we were to do that in the future.
I think to me that mine was
yeah.
God of War easily.
But
That was ridiculous.
yeah, no, there's tons of interesting shows. There's I think there's supposed to be a oh god, it's like it's a Marvel crossover thing. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna have a bunch of different actors from other Marvel shows do like a crossover event. But I don't think it's called Secret War, Secret Invasion. I think is what
Something
it's
like
called.
that.
Something along those
Wasn't there
lines.
supposed to be a Netflix Berserk from like the creators of Castlevania?
There was, but they may not do that now because I don't know if you know this. The author died.
Are you serious? The author of Berserk?
Yeah, he died. He died last year. At the age of 55.
I didn't know that. But what's
Yeah.
crazy is I saw Berserk books at Barnes and Nobles, and they are freaking huge.
Yeah. Well, because they compiled different But yeah, no, that was another thing that they were gonna do was like a Berserk adaptation, which
man, I
is an
would've-
anime for those that. Don't
I would
know,
have
but
loved to see that, like in the cat from the director of Castlevania.
That would have been really good, but yeah.
I would say it's a
Tons
good
of-
time to be a Star Wars fan, be into Marvel, like any of that stuff. I mean, there's like a little something out there for everyone.
Anime is an acquired taste for a lot of people, but you know.
So I know we were kind of talking about this earlier in the day on the chat, or at least I had brought it up, and I think that'd be kind of interesting. Is if Midway actually kind of like stored some cash somewhere and like made some actual like Mortal Kombat movies.
So here's the thing, I'm not really that well versed in like Mortal Kombat, so
Yeah.
kind of explain to me what you mean by that.
Like actually like go with the storyline.
So
of the
Midway
games.
is that a film production company?
They-
Midway's
Yeah.
the game company.
Oh, it's the game company.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it used to be. Now Mortal Kombat's owned by NetherRealm Studios.
Okay.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, the new one.
NetherRealm Studios
Yep.
owns Mortal Kombat.
Stupid
Well,
question.
like actually go with the actual storyline and not just make.
Because
up some
NetherRealm
random
really never
bullshit.
jumped on board with that.
Yeah, stupid question though. But do video game companies, if they do get a film adaptation, do they dump money into it, or is that more the film studios that do that?
I don't
The
know, I'm
film
just making up
studios
some-
do,
Oh,
I
yeah,
assume.
That's a good comment. I was
Yeah,
gonna follow.
'cause
it up
I
with-
assume the studios pay the most. The film companies, I'm sorry, the game companies don't care because I mean that's money they're getting.
Yeah.
Unless they're that protective about their franchise.
Back to the Mortal Kombat though. How
Maybe
was the
that's
newest
why.
movie? How was the newest movie?
I didn't like it.
Really?
The storyline
liked-
was not good. The
I
fighting was amazing.
Yes.
That is the only redeemable thing about the
fighting
movie.
was great, and
Okay.
and Goro was actually pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
That's the six.
Although
dude, right?
disappointed.
He died like a bitch, but he was cool.
Is that the 6-arm dude
The
that
fo-
has
the
the
forearm
anus for a
dude, yeah.
face?
Yeah.
Okay, yes,
With a forearm, dude. Yeah, but
Yeah.
the storyline just it didn't It didn't go along with it.
Okay.
No, it didn't.
And like, so who was the guy? Like the main guy was that was supposed to be Scorpion's grandson then?
Yeah, great grandsons, only
Okay.
through generations.
Okay.
Yeah, that was weird, man. It was just it didn't.
I think
it didn't-
they
didn't go
got
good.
Scorpion Sub-Zero down.
Oh yeah, overall.
The Liu Kang, they got the look of Liu Kang. I think they did a good job with the whole Buddhist
Yeah.
thing, but I was a disappointed.
He's a serious character. He's not a stupid character like they made him
No.
out to be.
Was the acting
That's
pretty
what I
decent?
didn't like about
It
it.
sounds
The
like the
acting-
acting was
Acting
decent.
was terrible.
The acting
Was
was you
it?
can
It was bad.
tell
Yeah.
it was a low budget movie.
Okay.
You can easily
So they
tell
couldn't
it was.
even hire. They couldn't even hire a decent cast for this.
They hired I guess they put a lot of more money into martial artists for this
Okay.
movie, and that makes sense.
Okay.
Because I mean, the guy who plays Sub-Zero, what's his name? It's Joe something. But I mean,
Yeah.
he is a legit martial artist. They all are.
Well, here's the good news to Mark's question though. I mean, if it made a killing at the box office, and I know that we're talking about like pandemic and everything like that, maybe that hurt the box office earnings.
Maybe.
But if it made like a lot of money, maybe you could look up how much money it earned. Then they could dump that money into hiring like decent talent and
Yeah.
even better martial artists
How
if
was-
they do decide.
How was the? Did either of you ever see the Tekken movie?
I did.
Are
I
you
did not
talking
enjoy
about
it.
not the live action one, right?
Yeah,
The live action.
I did not even look at that. It looked terrible.
It
yeah.
is
Yeah.
bad.
They did an
See, that's the
animated
other
movie
thing.
about Tekken.
they?
That I liked.
That one was good.
Yes.
You
they
talking
had-
about the 2D one, the
Yep.
original 2D
the
anime Tekken?
2D
That was
animation. Yeah,
great.
that was awesome.
Especially the way they
live-action one,
did Heihachi and all that. You know,
Worst live action movie based on martial arts, hands down, is Dragon Ball Evolution.
don't even, why you don't mention that?
Dragon Ball Evolution is the worst adaptation of like martial arts or anime I've like ever seen. It's awful. So, I mean, you think Mortal Kombat is bad, dude? I'd watch that 3 times in a row compared to like Evolution or the Tekken movie. So, yeah, I mean, shit.
Yeah, that
Yeah. Dragon Ball Evolution was
Mortal
I don't even
Kombat
mention-
Armageddon?
I don't even acknowledge it.
that's the one, right? That I was like, dude, this one's great.
I was like, dude, why are
Armageddon.
you showing me like a low budget, like a high budget high school porno? What are we looking at here? Because honestly, I was watching that movie with you, and I'm like, dude, this looks ridiculous.
Yeah, it was
So-
it was pretty bad.
Yeah,
It
I
was.
was like, man,
The first, dude, like I said, I thought the first one was good.
yeah. That one I have not seen yet. That one you told me to check out.
Yeah.
The 90s one, 1990s? Okay, so I'll have to give that a check.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out with an
Sorry.
open mind. So.
I won't say that the acting is great, but like overall, like it's a cool.
It
it's a
definitely
cool movie.
hits the 90s nostalgia
Well,
thing.
plus, what's his name is in it? The guy from the guy that plays Johnny Tsunami's grandfather. You ever see Johnny Tsunami? It was an old Disney movie.
Yes, yes.
Remember the grandfather?
Yes.
That he's Shang Tsung.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That is beyond
Yeah.
hilarious.
yeah.
But yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, let's see, man. We've been going now for about an hour and 8 minutes. You guys have anything else you guys want to talk about here?
Not really.
I should be good. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
okay.
right, man. Well, yeah, this has been a another Vault Talk. We decided
Thank you all for joining
Yeah,
us.
we
thanks for
decided
joining us,
to
guys.
yeah, we decided to do this early, and like we had a lot to talk about Star Wars and stuff, and yeah, I'm glad we were able to do this, guys. So
Yeah.
yeah, catch us back either sometime like this week, probably not Friday, because I've got some things going on, but
Mhm.
well, we will definitely see you the following week on
We
Friday.
will try to stay somewhat consistent.
Yeah.
somewhat.
Yeah, we should have some. Well, anyways, I'm over here blabbering. But yeah, so yeah, thanks for watching, and we will see
Thank
you
you,
guys
guys.
next time.
Take care, guys.
Bye.